Welcome to the Planet Paintball Podcast, the ultimate podcast for paintball enthusiasts. Each week, we dive into the world of paintball, bringing you stories, insights, and tips from players, coaches, and industry insiders. Sponsored by 1023 Sportswear. Looking for high-quality gear that performs as hard as you do? Check out 1023 Sportswear. And as a listener of the Planet Paintball Podcast, you can get 20% off your order with the code Planet Paintball. Suit up, save big, and play your best.
All right, welcome to the Planet Paintball Podcast. I have with me Jason Hanson today, aka the Rascal. What's been going on, man?
Lots of paintball. Yesterday I was at Insane Paintball in Rossville, Georgia for Blue Ridge Paintball Club. I had an absolute wonderful time. I think we had 52 or 53 people show up, and I think we have 85 or 90 members signed up. So it was a great time, beautiful weather, and a little bit of a curveball. We had to move it from Saturday to Sunday. First time in the club's, 4 or 5 year history that we've had to do that because we had some tornadoes threatening to come in the area. But hey, beautiful day. It was the right call. Hey, we still had a great crew.
That's awesome. You got to play that new retro field they just built, yeah?
Yeah, it really brought me back in time because the first time I ever played paintball was a pallet field. It was just one-on-one pallets and pump guns. Oh, God, that's 99 or 2000. It's a long time ago, but it's fun. All the tall guys are like, oh, man. I was like, yeah, I got little legs. I was fine.
It's where being short pays off.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did you get into paintball?
6th or 7th grade, so 12 or 13 years old. I'm 38 now. A friend of mine, Dane Dickey, may he rest in peace, asked me to play paintball. I go, what's paintball? He told me what it was. I was like, I guess. Went to his house and Talon, the Walmart Talon gun, CO2, 12 grams. Could be shooting 340 the first shot. Who knows? One of us was wearing a motorcycle helmet. The other one was wearing an actual paintball mask. No accidents. Had a great time, and I've been hooked ever since.
Awesome. Yeah, those talents, that first one was a heater.
Yeah, anything with the 12 gram, it's just, you can't regulate that. So, maybe the Phantom can, but definitely not the Talon.
No, I don't know if the Phantom could either. That's going way back. How long did it take to go from like, this is a fun game to I'm going to start playing events?
I mean, I was obsessed with it almost immediately. I have to check my PB leagues, but the first event I was with Carnage for 10-man. We played novice instead of rookie because rookie, novice, and then amateur and pro. We played novice because our sponsor may or may not have played with us or something. I don't know. We came in dead last. I don't think I shot a single person, but still addicted, loved it. I want to say maybe that was 2002 or 2001. I'm not sure. But it was an absolute wonderful time. And like I said, I've been obsessed with it ever since.
Nice. So you're really big into the classic format now, right?
Yeah. So it's weird because I really enjoy the ICPL classic paintball. And I played the UWL as well. I played one of those events with a heavy gunner and all that, a lot more complicated rules. I just really love playing hyperball, mounds, these concept fields, the woods. Like, I just enjoy 10 on 10 where field walking, how to close out a game past a 50. You really have to use your brain. And I'm not an athletic guy. I've never been super fast, even though I might look fast because my little legs. I really enjoy that. I'm that Bill Burr joke where it's like, why didn't I think of that? He's like, man, what a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. It was 2003 was Chicago Open. That was the first big event.
Okay.
Yeah, 2001, 2002. That was local 3-mans, stuff like that. Just obsessed with all forms of paintball. The classic, I really enjoy mechanical as well. So the guns aren't as fast, bigger fields, the 10 on 10. And I mean, it's just all of us, in our 30s, 35, 40, you end up kind of going back and chasing nostalgia. That's what the ICPL is for me. And I just, it's great on other levels too, because you play current pros, Infamous will have current pros out there, Dynasty, from time to time. You'll see legends, like you'll get to play against, Chris Lasoya. You'll get to play against Travis Lemansky, Rocky Cagnoni, Manny Francia. Ronnie Simpkins. Like, you could go on and on and on, and just all these guys. Like, it's awesome. Like, when I first started playing paintball, we had these, like,
Did you see my post?
yeah, no, I didn't. But like, wow, of all of them that I have right here, and I grabbed that one too. But it's just like Trauma Head Sports is out there. Danny Manning is out there, The Voice, like, and I've made friends with a lot of these guys, even enemies for a little bit, and you get to know each other, and hopefully I win them over. I do have being a rascal, I have a way of getting underneath people's skin for sure. So it's cool. I love it.
It's been fun. The resurrection is what brought me back into paintball, and it's long gone now, and I got, nicer cockers, but that's what brought me back.
Well, I mean, they've changed the balls per second throughout the years, and I think I stopped playing national X ball events in like 2009 or something like that. And I loved the regional events. I was a D2 sandbagger for years because I got to a point where if I wanted to play a higher division, I had to either go to Florida, with Palm Beach Vipers and Ken Bryson, who turns out to be a very bad person. So rot in jail, or finish my degree. And to me, and I'll get a lot of hell for this, paintball is and forever will be a hobby to me. I love it. I've had opportunities to make money off of it, and I do my best to not do that. And anything that I make, I try and either give back to the hobby, the sport, wherever you're at, because for some people it is. But to me, it's one of the only things that forces me to turn my brain off. And that's something I struggle with. And I need that escape personally.
Yeah. And that's what got me hooked, was when I'm at the field, that's what matters.
Yeah. We all turned to 12-year-old little boys or little girls now with the WNXL, the Barbies, which has been awesome. Yeah. It's wild to see the Bear Ridge Factory, what's evolved there, and the semi-pro guys like Joey DePolito, Wesley Ward, like those guys they hated me growing up because and some of them I don't even really know, but they knew me. Tanner Conrad. And it's crazy to see them just grow up and turn into men. I've seen people, literally pre-puberty, 9 years old, evolve into adults with kids and jobs. Some of them are balding. It's like, what's happening here? It's just time flies, man.
It does. And it's cool to see those kids grow up and now become men and just killing it in the semi-pro division. Killed it last year in the D2 division. Yeah. So are you based in North Georgia?
Yeah. So I'm in Kennesaw, Georgia. So I'm about 45 minutes from Bear Ridge, about 2 hours from Prime, hour and a half to Insane Paintball, which I consider my home base. I think I'm an hour from Tallapoosa Paintball, all woods. That's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend checking that out. It's a newer field. I'm like 2.5 hours away from everything. And if there's an event like at Paintball Central happening, Tyler Humphreys Field, I try and make it out there as well. So hopefully I'll play the Retro 5-man, the Retro 10-man classic that they'll have, and maybe some other standalone events now that I've, had the pleasure of guesting with Gridlock as well. And then Trauma coming back, which is huge.
Yeah, that is huge. That was really cool to see that. So Trauma and Dark Carnival both being back.
Well, from my understanding, maybe you have more information with Ken. Trauma's coming back, and some of those Dark Carnival players will be playing with Trauma. And I don't know if Dark Carnival is going to be continuing in the ICPL.
Okay.
I believe it's just Trauma. I could be wrong, but
all I know is they're both signed up right now, or they're both registered. I think only one's paid.
I would love that because that increases my chances of getting a call from some of the Trauma boys, because I had so much fun playing with those guys at the Pro DNA Open. Like playing with Fat City in 2005, you play against all the Gridlock guys, and they always had one Trauma player. And it was, it was hell. It was hard playing against those guys because it felt like the refs are always out to get you. And those guys are incredible players. Yeah. So, yeah, being able to play with them and coming from the same area, we just gelled perfectly, which was really cool. And me being a bit of a team whore, being able to guest and play with a lot of different teams, it doesn't always go that way. You don't always gel where you're like, I'm going to get in, get out of here. And other times it's like, man, this is nice. This is great.
So what do you think makes the difference when you step onto a team with the gelling? Like if you're just guesting?
I think
Like,
well, it's got to be a defined role because I go to paintball to escape and, be a total nerd because this is all LARPing, all of us. How sometimes you wear a fake mustache and a wig, Wreckball Randy, and wearing jeans. I don't care. I'm just there to have a good time. But at the same time, I'm also very competitive because when we're at a tournament, I do want to win and I will do my best to win, while preserving, my brand and whatever the team's values are. Like when I've played with the Saber Wolves, you're not allowed to do a dead man's walk with them, which I don't think is a cool move, but I'm really good at it. But I've successfully done it with the Misfits and with Doc's Warriors, but that's when you're the last guy alive kind of deal. And you're just taking advantage of the other team's trust. But there needs to be a defined leader. There has to be an alpha, a coach, whatever. And he's keeping the team focused to win. That way I can provide my role of supporting that leader by still being the comic relief and just having a good time if things get a little too serious, but still not taking away from the direction of the team and what the leader wants. If there's no leader, then you kind of run into issues because, again, I just want to have a good time. And I feel like I have to kind of take over that role. Another weird thing, a dynamic, is sometimes there'll be a owner that does or doesn't play. And then you have like a field captain.
Yeah.
And sometimes that doesn't always work out. Sometimes it does, but yeah. And then when it comes to just your personality type. So, I have a weird background. My sister's a lesbian. Like I've dated theater people, things like that. I've worked in the bar industry. I don't care what happens, at home. We're at the paintball field. So if people are very stubborn in their ways, 1950s kind of deal, it's not really going to gel with my personality type. Like I'm big fan of the bubble bass. I'll tell you. I mean, that's the way to do it. And some guys that are like super macho, they just get weirded out or all that. It's like, dude, like we're nerds. Like, look at you. You just asked me if your headband was on straight, if it looked cool. Like, who cares?
Hey, that headband cost a lot of money.
Yeah, it's weird because, I love being, the jokester and things like that. I love ICPL because you're using your brain. I get to be funny and it's like a reunion seeing all these guys, but that's a big team thing. But then you go the Hormesis duel because we're talking about headbands or the joust. I mean, that's one-on-one, tiny field, 20 minutes. I mean, it's not just a battle against the other person on the other side. It's really a battle against yourself because a lot of people one-on-ones, they gas out quick. They hold their breath. You've got to be able to keep your heart rate down. I mean, this might go to 20 minutes, maybe even more if it goes to sudden death. Um, and it's weird that those are my two favorite formats. And I'm always trying to talk people out of playing National X Ball. I'm just like, oh, it's so much money you could do. I wish I diversified my hobbies. There could be so much more.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's true. I mean, for a local series is pretty much one national event, right? Like,
I mean,
once you get done with all the hotel and plane and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I think National X Ball, not counting the practice and things leading up to it, just the event. I mean, depending how many people you carry on your roster, is anywhere from $500 to $1,000 just gone, and that's without airfare typically. A regional event, if you can drive to, you don't need a hotel, or you can, find cheaper lodging. It's so much cheaper. It's kind of like Book versus the movie. Yeah, the book was better. It's like, well, how much better was it? Was it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times? Like, I'd rather spend $1,500 for a series instead of $1,000 on a single event, for a national, because is the juice worth the squeeze? Am I getting that much better of a product?
Yeah. Up for you to
players.
decide.
Yeah. I mean, try it out. I did it for years,
yeah. Oh, so you brought up the Hormesis. You have gotten to play in them, and then you've also gotten to general the joust, right?
I got my ass kicked by Nikki Cuba, being the general there. I definitely want a rematch. That was a tough one at Prime Paintball in Leeds, Alabama, like McGowan's field. Yeah, I got to general there. We did a local joust at Bear Ridge, and I got to be a general there as well. Crushed it at that one, beat up Alex Hicks. Let's see. And then I've been able to participate in the duel at Prime Paintball in Leeds, Alabama, 2020. And then in 2024, I was able to do it again, but I did it at Paintball Central at Humphreys Field.
Okay.
I was supposed to do it at Prime Paintball again in 2024, but my house got hit by lightning. I had to get a new HVAC unit. I needed to be here. So, I still went and showed up, and I was the general because I made a commitment. That's my word, players. And then with McGowan's blessing, I gave my spot to a jouster that was absolutely crushing it to participate in the duel, which he was excited about. I think he played Justin Hodges, who ended up winning the event his first round. Not 100% sure on that, but I know he didn't win it, but he tried his best.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, it's not awesome your house got hit by lightning, but
hey, I still made it to Japan a couple days after that, and that was a
was that right before
trip.
the Japan trip?
Yeah, right. There was a lot of things happening in a short amount of time, so it happens.
You stayed busy
Well, I mean, I stay pretty busy as it is. Like, I work full time. I'm in an MBA program right now.
Okay.
The Blue, I still play a ton of paintball. I'm always looking for duelers. So if anyone wants to duel and tries the format, we don't have to do the full 20 minutes or anything like that until you're ready, get comfortable with the format. We take turns, different people rotate on. Hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. But yeah, I play paintball constantly. And then I'm always looking for the next trip.
Nice. And did they set up a permanent dual field up at Insane? That's
we
nice.
have a standing dual field. Yeah, Jared, the owner, and then Eric Evans, the field manager, when I reached out to him, because there was enough land or dimensions instead of putting a chrono area behind the airball field, they changed it to have a dual field there. And they have extra bunkers permanently set up. I can hit them up and they'll change it throughout the week if I ever ask them to, or they just do it randomly. It's a blast. I mean, because as you fade out of tournament paintball, as you get older and you can't commit to playing all these events and all these practices, like, oh, I'm in school, or I don't have the money, or hey, I got kids now, or I'm married and I have these other obligations, or hey, I just want to do other stuff. It's okay. It's hard to kind of get on the box and just do 5-on-5, especially as the game has evolved in such a team game instead of like a higher divisional player playing a lower division and they can just stunt. It's changed.
Yeah.
So you can either go play rec ball and ruin Timmy's birthday and the rental guns. That's no fun. You can join Blue Ridge Paintball Club. Like, oh, this is fun. This is competitive. We meet once a month, 4 times, in the spring, 4 times in the fall. Perfect. Or if you want something super competitive, but you don't want to do a team, you're a dueler. Congratulations.
That's the ticket there then. What, you got anything else going on with Hormesis and the duel coming up to their big finale thing?
Yeah, Oliver Lang asked me to do commentary, and then actually as of this morning, he told me I'm going to host. So I don't know who's recording it or something like that, but it'll be recorded and doctored and put on YouTube or sold or whatever. All that matters. VHS, who knows? But
Let's go old school.
Yeah, but I'll be, commentating, hosting, talking to the duelers, commenting on the game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We talked about doing something the weekend after at Insane Paintball, possibly. We're still working out the details on that, what we're going to do, if anything. So we'll see. But I'm pumped for that. That is Mother's Day weekend, that Saturday, not Mother's Day, that Sunday. So if you can, I strongly recommend to go to Prime Paintball for the event. As it gets closer, the schedule will be posted. I mean, there's not a better field around it. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. The field of dreams, with the grass and stuff like that. If you've been there, it's like, okay, I get it. But it's just one type of paintball there, and it's a private field, so they're not open every weekend. But follow their Facebook page, Prime Paintball, for their schedule for different events that they have.
Well, that's awesome, man. We didn't even talk about that beforehand, so that was a natural transition. Way to go!
Yeah, that happened this morning.
Okay.
I don't know if I tagged them or something like that in a photo that had my Hormesis headband or whatever. But then he reached out and and we just catch up randomly, from time to time on stuff like that. My bubble bath mostly.
In the bubble bath. You want to talk about the headband? Not everyone's had one made, and yours was kind of early on.
I mean, I think it's more cool the coin. I wish the coins have caught on more when it comes to just the Hormesis dueler coins. And then Alex Fragi created more coins. One was the Rascal because I did a Dead Man's Walk against Aftershock in Badlands when Alex Fragi was guesting with Aftershock.
You are a brave man. I didn't realize it was at Badlands. You are a very, very brave man.
So I don't know if it's brave or just stupid. It's one of those things where I didn't talk about it the entire event because I was told not to, and hopefully things would calm down. I was playing with the Misfits at the time. We always struggled at that field. It was always tough. Every game was tough. But yeah, walking off the field, Danny Love let me have it, son. He ripped into me. It felt like an eternity. It was probably like 5 minutes, but it felt like 50. But the next day, for the most part, I think everyone was cool. I did, when I ordered my rental gun, order it underneath my wife's name, though, in fear that he Loctited it shut. Yeah, my lifetime warranty was voided on my Misfits cockers. That's for sure. But I talked to him maybe 2 years ago at Badlands when he was just working his booth, and he acted like nothing happened. So I was like, oof. Thank God.
Nice.
But yeah, eventually I got a Rascal headband where it's got a possum on the tail, playing dead or actually dead. Always cool, always fun. I have extra, but I'm saving for different charitable events. If there's ever a need, locally, charity wise, then I'll toss a band in there. Hopefully, raise some funds, host an event, whatever. I mean, it's one of those things where I can donate money or donate something, but I like to try and host things because I've been playing this stupid game for, so long where I have a lot of trust with the players because it's hard to keep that, I guess. I don't know what it is about this hobby and just the people that it attracts. Eventually, it feels like someone burns someone eventually. It just happens and it sucks. If I say I'm going to be at a field, I'm going to be at a field. My house got hit by lightning. I was still at Prime the next day without air conditioning because I said I was going to be there. That's just who I am. So, for better or for worse. That's why I try not to commit unless I know I'm going to be there. But the bad end of that is sometimes you don't have a team. Like right now, I'm just a guest. I am not official any team at all right now for the ICPL season, and that is quickly approaching. We got Maryland, Pittsburgh, and then Tiki's again, I think. So love all those fields. I played with Omaha Bulls, their first time in pro. We got 4th at this last event, which was cool. They invited me back, and I thanked them. I appreciate it, but I felt like I clashed with a few of their players, and so it's just like probably not for the best. Love those guys. Still super appreciative. Still was on the call afterwards to talk about what went right, what went wrong, things like that. Maybe I'll play a roadies paintball if they need a body. We talked about it.
There you go.
But that would be amateur. That's the only bummer. I do like playing pro because
like playing pro?
You get to play against other guys. You get to see where you stand.
Yeah.
Like I love paintball. I just don't like getting on a plane for it unless it really means something.
So do you play any of the opens at the national events?
I'm really not into national events for the most part. I mean, at World Cup, sometimes I'll play the mounds or 5-man, 7-man, or whatever. A lot of times I like just going down there and just to heckle and hang out. It's just a good time. A lot of times, like the NGXL, like I look over here, I got this calendar that is basically a rolling 6 weeks. I'm like, all right, my wife is working April 5th and 6th. Oh, that's NGXL weekend. Cool. I'll go commentate, or I'll hop on with a team if they need a D3 player, or I will, if there's not like a good team to hop on, or if it's like, it'll be too much money, then I'll try and find people that aren't playing the NGXL and go duel. That's what I'll do. But I'm constantly playing.
So you mentioned Planet Eclipse, right?
Yep. So
got a sponsorship. How'd that come about? Because it's personal, right?
Well, it's more of a tester thing.
Okay.
So like I was brought on for the CS3 mech frame. I was brought on for the Planet Eclipse 180 and Planet Eclipse 180 mech frame. The GOR, those are the guns that I've tested and been a part of. And it's really cool what they do compared to other manufacturers is they have testers all over the world. So you get different humidity, you get different temperatures, you get different playing styles. Because the guy that's going to play front or run and dive or belly flop, in the mud and play an actual tournament is different than the guy that's shooting off his back porch, case after case. It's just different. So they're really good about that. When it comes to other manufacturers that tend to have problems in that first run of guns, and then they have to do all those things, or you have to pay for an upgrade. What is it, like Gold Women or something like that?
Sure.
The Iron Man kit, But it's just one of those things where they don't have testers all over the world. It's like, there's nothing more heartbreaking than someone buying a brand new gun, $1,800, $1,500, $1,000, $500. Any brand new gun, you want to work out of the box and just have a good time. I'm a big fan of Planet Eclipse, even if I'm not asked to test anything ever again, for the pure fact that it's durable. It's always going to work. I mean, that's just, you got to have it. I mean, if you're spending thousands of dollars to play these tournaments and a single point can make or break you, you have to trust your equipment. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, I'm going to spend $2,000 on, the brand new, whatever, and then it goes out there and doesn't work, and we lose that point because of it, and it's an overtime point. It's terrible. I hate it. I wish they all worked all the time.
Well, there's nothing worse than coming off the box and realizing my gun just decided to not work.
Well, and the whole thing about it is there's a lot you can do leading up to events and at the event, because it's your responsibility as a teammate to make sure your gun has fresh batteries, your loader has fresh batteries, or everything's charged, everything's clean. Because otherwise it's just disrespectful to your teammates that took out time from work, money, they've made sacrifices. The least you could have done is make sure you're putting in that amount of work as well. I mean, anything that's a variable leading up to the event that you can take out, you have to do it. Like, I'm 38 years old. Like, I am not a spring chicken. I am not doing deadlifts. I'm not working out constantly. And, to play at a high level, you have to do that. When it comes to me playing locally or even a duel, because you do have to have the right, cardio health and things like that. Have 2 sets of equipment, have 3 sets of goggles there, have the visors, have the different lenses, have the microfibers, have the coconut water, the liquid IVs, do the pre-hydrating beforehand. Anything you can do, to take those variables out of the game beforehand, do it. I mean, I've seen people win and lose tournaments over paint management because they didn't go to Costco and spend $100 and get a giant igloo cooler. They didn't get dry ice, or they didn't get regular ice and do towels or cardboard on top of it. Like, they didn't rotate their pods, or the paint's too brittle. It's very cold. It's freezing. And we didn't realize this.
They get the heat packs.
There's that. And then even the day before, things like that, if you're taking cases home to try or the hotel, the Airbnb, like if you're doing like a little 3-man, we did one and it's saying it was freezing weather, people were breaking paint in their guns. Easy fix. Turn your car on, turn the heat on, floor vents only, open up the box, bags are still sealed, and just put them on the floor vents for 10 minutes, rotate them, 10 minutes, you're good. It's just like putting it out in the sun. It's just little things. Oh, they're too brittle? Warm them up. Oh, they're too bouncy? Cool them down. It's not hard.
Yeah, for some people it seems to be pretty hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's paint management's huge. I mean, we've talked about it a lot in a couple of these episodes. Like, it's just taking that little extra time, a little extra money sometimes, and having the right stuff. And
well, I mean, the game's evolved so much where people are paying a coach to
Mhm.
be at these things. I get asked to coach all the time. And it's crazy to me. Like I can break down a field, I can do X's and O's, but unless I'm super familiar with the players that are playing, I don't
Mhm.
know what their strengths and weaknesses are. I don't know what they're capable of. I'm not taking money from anyone to do these
Mhm.
things. That's where yeah, I'll pop in and like I'll do individual, I'll pull people aside, and instead of telling them what they should have done, I ask them why they did what they did, or sometimes like, well, why didn't you do this? Maybe they have a good defense. Oh, I can't shoot left-handed. Okay, all right, cool. Would you like to learn how? Yeah, I need to work on that. Cool. Come to Blue Ridge Paintball Club and just shoot left-handed all day.
That
You know,
will
that's yeah.
I'll
That's
teach
how
you.
we
That's what I
learned.
did.
Yeah.
We're shooting left-handed now. I guess I gotta spend a whole day or weekend with this thing in my left hand.
Yeah. Like, going back on ICPL stuff, and there's good and bad about not having a team. Like I played with the Misfits for 3 or 4 seasons,
Mhm.
and that was awesome. I learned a lot. Very thankful for that. You know, one of the best sponsorships I've ever experienced for sure, and I'm sure it's only gotten better. Selling goggles and things like that. Having Shock Tech autocockers and then Inception Emacs and you name it, awesome stuff. But like I got to play with Rocky Cagnoni, Manny Francia, Ronnie Simpkins, Emmanuel Capodici, legends. Who doesn't know
Mhm.
these people? But it's one of those things where you get to learn all these things. You get to learn good things, bad things, how to break down the field. Like Ronnie Simpkins and I had played very different paintball, but I learned a lot from him because that's the guy that's trying to kill me constantly. That's just how it goes. After leaving the Misfits, I got to play with Image, Richie Malachewski. I talked about Steve
Yeah.
earlier, Derek, Earl, like awesome guys, great players. I got to guest with Smoke, got to play with Danny Manning, and his crew.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. I've got to play with the Saber Wolves. I've got to play with Gridlock. That's probably my favorite of the group. I got to play with the Omaha Bulls recently. They needed a couple players. And I got to bring John Tinker over,
Oh,
from
okay.
Gridlock because he was looking for a team as well. Like, it's just fun. I mean, it keeps you active. For me, it helps turn my brain off. For a
Mhm.
lot of people, it gets their aggression out. For some people, they get their adrenaline, they get that rush. I'm just calm and cool when I play paintball. I'm just having it at the spa. That's how I look at it, which is crazy because you're shooting one another, but it's just how I calm down.
Better than a bubble bath, huh?
Yeah, for sure. More expensive, but definitely fun. But yeah. NGXLs, the Atlanta Condas, the open three-mans,
Mhm.
like pulling people together for that. I played one of those in January with Cody Schmick, Wesley Ward, my buddy Sean McDuff. Sean McDuff plays for the Misfits, played with him back in the early 2000s with Fat City. Like, it's just cool. It's great playing with high IQ players that just kind of get it.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I love the ICPL so much is because there's so many high IQ players out there and, you can always learn, outside of paintball, when you stop learning, it's time to move on, period. When it comes to work, when it comes to your friends, everything, like you have to constantly be learning. You have to be constantly going for a goal, something, because otherwise you're just going to fade away, period.
Yeah. What are you doing? Like, yeah. So you seem like a guy who reads a lot.
So
Or what do you do to keep learning?
well, I'm in an MBA program right now. Podcast, a lot of those. Anything by Wondery that's not like it has to be businessy. Don't go to
Okay.
the murder stuff. I mean, if you want, sure, whatever, you psycho. But Business Wars or Business Movers by Wondery. If you like books, I think it's Doris Keene Kelly. I think it's The Principles of Leadership.
Okay. Yeah, I've read that.
It breaks down 4 different presidents, and it goes that argument as like is a leader born that way? Do they evolve? Do they learn to be that way? It talks about Abraham Lincoln, FDR, who else? Roosevelt, Johnson.
Okay.
That's who it is. I believe it's those 4, but that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of books out there. I mean, it's information overload. If anything, get off a screen and go outside. Like If you could read a book, great. If you listen to it, sure. I think social media is absolutely killing us.
As a social media guy now, it's killing me.
And if it was for paintball, I wouldn't have social media
Mhm.
whatsoever. And I mean, I'm no Matt the gym rat, and that's awesome what he's doing for sure. I love the people that he reaches because kids that don't even play paintball watch his videos, and they
Yeah.
might play paintball someday. It's awesome. Super nice guy. I'm not good at it. I just like to go like, hey, we're having a great time. We're going to be here again on this day and this time. It costs this much money, and let's go. From someone who's ran tournaments, organized events, like it's like who, what, when, where, and then maybe a why, but they should be implied based off the flyer. So yeah, don't overthink it. Keep it to the basics.
So you do help run the paintball events, interviews,
Paintball
and
events,
news, right?
interviews, and
Yeah.
stories. Yeah, I am one half. We are slacking on that. We were so bad. We were like, that's how like this all started with Jack Wood. I left the Misfits. I hit him up for, go, hey, when's the mech frame coming out for the CS3? Because I'd hate to spend all this money and treat myself and and just have it just waiting because I wasn't playing any airball at the time, really. I was just doing mechanical. And then he sent over paperwork, this, that. And then I had a CS3 mech at my house. Like, this is amazing. It's like, no, try and break it. I go, okay. But it's just one of those things where, yeah, he thinks it's funny. We're just a troll page trying to have fun. Occasionally, some real news will sneak in there from time to time, sometimes by accident. Or like the Bianca going to Dynasty, we had no insider intel whatsoever. And because my relationship with Bianca, I was like, all right, we're gonna make it fun. We're gonna do 4 different coaches. We're gonna do Todd Martinez, Ryan Gray, Bianca, and I don't remember who the 4th person was, but we knew it was Bianca. He was going, and Bianca's like, how do you know? I was like, it's fine. You don't have to tell us. It's fine. Like outside looking in, who else would you pick?
Yeah. Yeah, he is kind of the logical choice for that group of guys.
Well,
for sure.
For sure. I mean, any coach is going to have the challenge when it comes to the egos that are on that team, and they have the right to have those egos. They've won everything.
Yeah.
They're awesome players, they're very smart. They have high IQs, and we saw that at the event. If you watch the webcast on Go Sports, where Ryan Greenspan and Bianca, there was a little bit of tension at one point. That's going to be growing. Same thing with Kyle Berry and Ryan Greenspan. Like, if you watch these things, like you got someone that's been a leader and the smartest person in their camp, the ML Kings and Hurricanes. Then they come to Dynasty, it's a different dynamic. Kyle Berry has to switch from the teacher to the learner, to the student. That's the only way he's going to be successful on that team. And I think he can be, but that's tough. That's a hard transition, and then Bianca, he's coming in and he hasn't won at a high level. He has and a coach, but not as a player. As a player, he's, I think, maybe second place, with Prime in Division 1 or semi-pro. I don't know, but that's a hard argument against, Ryan Greenspan.
Yeah, it is. So how did the page come about? Just you guys joking around one day?
So me and my buddy Nick Brown, the other half of Paintball Events or Planet Eclipse news, interviews, and stories, we're very clear. We are always for sale. We will sell out just like that. With T-shirts and hats, will get you a long ways with us. We just want to be paid in gear. No coupons. We want gear. But yeah, I think it was a matter of he was job hunting and we wanted to do like a public post. And, we had too many margaritas after paintball at Nitro, and just started talking silly, recording, and then just posting. And we're like, oh man, like we should do this like on a page, not connected to our personal pages in case someone Googles, Nick. If you Google me, what's going to happen is a Detroit Lions kicker is going to pop up. I'm good,
You got it covered.
Yeah, I'm fine, So, but yeah, that's why we started the page, and we'll do silly stuff from time to time. We used to mostly do impersonations, which were way more fun, but your wife or your girlfriend's going to have to hold the camera. It gets kind of silly. Sometimes they're into it, and they play along, but other times they're like, I don't know. Like when my wife drew all the tattoos, like a big chicken on my gut, and I'm in the bath as Rocky Cagnoni, like that was a fun one. And I mean, we had so much fun. She was just laughing the whole time. She's like, I drew the chicken and it looks amazing, and just giggling the whole time. It takes the right type of weird, for
Mm-hmm.
that to happen. And then, schedules have to align. Like my wife was in nursing school. Now she's a nurse. Nick's, back in the office 5 days a week. He just took a new job. He actually got hired by NASA. I know.
Congratulations, Nick.
Yeah, I told him what size I wear because I'm definitely going to get a NASA windbreaker though. That'll be fun. But yeah, I just like I am at a paintball field, the rascal, whatever. I'm just having a good time being silly. We're both, comedians. Like I don't know if he's ever done stand up, but I did stand up, a decade ago, for a
Okay.
little bit. It's just having fun, man. Just goofing.
How'd the stand up thing come about? Like you just went to some open mics or?
Yeah, just open mics. Ex-girlfriend bought me I guess it was more than 10 years ago since it was ex-girlfriend, but like a class, a local comedian that's crushing it, Joel Byers, absolutely hilarious here in Georgia. But yeah, did a class, did open mics, did a graduation class. I think the most amount of people I did was 125 people. Um, did awesome. After that, I bombed a few times. I was like, nah, I'm good, but I did it for probably a year and a half or so altogether. It was fun. I liked it. I'm an early bird. It's hard for me to stay up late. Like I'm fun at the paintball field. At home, I'm just a grumpy old man. It's really disappointing to hang out with me outside of paintball. But yeah, it's hard for me to stay up late. That was one of the main reasons why I stopped doing it because hey, I'm not giving up my day job. I do great,
Mhm.
like could do it. But yeah, it was just fun.
Cool. Well, a little inside info that most people might not know about you, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, bartender, a stand-up comedian, accountant. Like, yeah, money is one of my values. Like, you can't see it in here, but like, I'm a certified treasury professional.
Okay.
That means you are the internal bank for your corporation or corporations. You work closely with tax, legal, AP, AR. You have to know a little bit about everything. And if you're really good, you are great at accounting as well because you're responsible for the statement of cash flows.
Yeah.
So if you nerds want to talk that stuff,
That's the other Patterson brother. You gotta get my brother. He's an accountant on here. You guys can nerd out about that for sure. So like you said, you're teamless right now, right?
yeah,
So people
I
hit
yeah,
them
hit
up.
me up if you want, but it's probably gonna be Roadie's Factory, if they'll have me or Trauma or just someone that needs a player, the last
Mhm.
minute kind of deal. But you'd be a fool not to play ICPL if you're on the fence about it. Like go to Maryland, it's a good time. It's
Yeah.
a great field. Go to Pittsburgh, it's a great time. It's a great field. Go to Tiki's, it's a great time. It's a great field. It's great. I mean, even if I don't play those, which I'm sure I will, like there's Blue Ridge Paintball Club, there's NGXL, there's the grand finale at Prime, for Hormesis. Like I'm just addicted and obsessed with paintball. And I actually love doing commentary because of my, comedian background and just
Mhm.
knowing the game, seeing it evolve and knowing the players. Like anyone in Georgia for the most part, I've seen them start playing up until now, and it's super cool. So it's nice doing the commentary because you have that background. And for
Yeah.
anyone that does commentary, if you don't know the player, just make something up. Say it 3 times, it becomes truth. As long as it comes from a good place, it's fine. It's fine.
I like it. So you ran with Fat City. That's a name I haven't
But yeah,
heard in a while. How long did you play with them?
so that was my home field was Fat City Paintball in Sonoya, Georgia. I lived in Sharpsburg, Georgia when I first started playing paintball, and that was 15 minutes away. I don't know of any fields really on the south side anymore.
Yeah,
But
Hoppers maybe down by the coast.
yeah, yeah, way
And
down there.
the south
This
side
is like
of
40.
Atlanta, I don't even know.
Yeah, because there was classic paintball off 20. Tallapoosa is further down off 20. It's a newer field, all woods. Anyhow, that was my home field. I played with them up until 2007, I want to say. And then I played with Two Extreme and Ultimate Kids, I want to say. But I was a team whore back then too, before I got on Fat City, because this was the transition to X-Ball. And you had people my age, now that were grown and they needed some speed, hey, go do that, stupid. Go run a dive to the snake. I'm not doing it. I don't have any money. Yeah, we do. It's fine. And that was just the only way to play a lot of tournaments. Your time meant nothing.
Yeah.
So,
young and fast.
And a lot of those guys, like the guy that got me into paintball, Dane Dickey, like he and I played on Fat City for years together. Then when he retired from paintball, that big paintball pension, he quit. None of you guys are retiring from paintball. Stop saying that. You're just quitting. You'll be back. It's fine. But yeah, I played with them forever. It was a good time. 10-man, X-Ball, the resurgence of 10-man, not ICPL, but when it was the pillowcases at World Cup or something like that.
Okay.
Look at Forts. We got second place. It was awesome. Trying to think what else. Yeah, Two Extreme, Ultimate Kids. I've played for, like, my APPA is silly, or PB leagues now, excuse me.
Yeah.
I played for Red Energy, before it was Prime Paintball, Atlanta Breakout, started Atlanta Condas, Nitro, Car Hype, At Town Ballers, more Breakout, CPD2. Yeah, and I'm in 2013, Jack's Warriors. Yeah, Doc's Warriors. It goes on and on and on. Yeah, that's and that's just not even counting MESPA and things like that weren't on, APA or PB leagues. But yeah, I just love playing paintball, man. I pretty much try and get along with everyone. Just here to have a good time. That's it.
What advice would you give to someone who's just getting in to paintball?
Have fun. Don't take it too seriously. And then all you guys that are taking it too seriously, stop it. Like, only a few of you will ever make a living off this, and it's not going to pay after you blow your knee out or something like that. Like, let's talk about Ryan Greenspan. Phenomenal player, one of the best players, or we could say Alex Goldman, because he's been talked about. He's making allegedly $100,000 a year or more for paintball, for 5 paintball events, 5 mandatory practices. I mean, that's great money. In California, 100 grand's not that much. But it's one of those things where if he gets injured, now what?
Yeah.
Or if he ages out, now what? Have a skill. I'm not saying don't try your hardest, work hard. If you want to get to that level and get paid for it, rock and roll. Go do it. I'm just saying, keep a roof over your head, keep your belly full, priorities. I'll keep those things. I don't see, maybe paintball will be, $1 million contracts one day, which would be super cool. All the support in the world for it. But even those guys, 30 for 30, you see them go broke, save your money.
Yeah.
Save your money.
Be smart with it.
Well, and I think my other advice would be, instead of buying all this extra gear, like, oh, I want this jersey or this headband or this mask, and support JT Paintball, get the ProFlex, support, Hormesis, get the cool headband, don't get 10 of them, support your local paintball field, go buy a case of paint from them, play, bring a friend, play, it doesn't matter what you wear. Just have fun.
All right. I love that. Play more.
Yes, play more.
Play more.
It shouldn't require a flyer for people to be at the paintball field. Like,
No.
It's 7-man this weekend, it's 10-man next weekend, it's X-ball, it's layout. Just go play. Just go play. Bring a friend, bring a family member. Just go play.
Favorite format? You can only pick one. Where are you going with?
Gonna come.
I know you got 2, but
yeah, it's between the duel and ICPL 10-man for sure. You know what my favorite format is for sure, though, is mechanical. I'll tell you that. And I've done mechanical duels. I've done mechanical, Blue Ridge Paintball Club, 10 on 10, 25 on 25. Like, I just love playing mechanical paintball. Me in all formats. I don't care what type of field it is, if it's mounds, airball. I just like playing mechanical. I love going out there with the CS3 mech or the SFL autococker, or maybe the R5 mech that we didn't decide to produce.
little drop there, maybe.
Or maybe I'm just being a rascal just so everyone will message Jack Wood about making the R5 mechanical, which he says, no, we already have so many mechanical formats.
One more. What about that? Because I love mechanical too. What about that makes it more fun for you?
I think it forces more engagement. I think a lot of people with ramping guns will they're less likely to move and they just want to sit and control lanes instead of making something happen. I love mechanical where you're holding a lane or trying to, and then you tell a friend to take over the lane and move, or you actually have the option like, hey, I'm going to put 2-3 people in and then go.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could do it if you're smart, if you're accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It's one more thing that you have to do instead of the gun doing it for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the Southwest sticker up there with the autococker.
Oh, that's John Blanco. That's his field, isn't it?
Yeah. I
He's
forgot
good
you know
people,
John
man.
Blanco. He's
Oh
great
yeah.
people. Yeah, he's a good buddy.
Yeah, he's great. And then 1023 Sportswear. That's the BR Barbies. Big fan of that. They actually made those custom goggle straps that I use all the time with the duck hunt. Oh
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
I'm going full nerd. I got a paintball gun that looks like a Nintendo Zapper. I got a duck hunt jersey now. Just straight silly. And you guys are insane for how much you spend on these 20-year-old paintball masks. People come up to me all the time like, you know how much your bottoms are worth? And I'm like, show me the money. These things are beat.
Yeah.
Olive clears, you got 400. They're like, it's $400. I go, show me the money. You can have them. I mean,
yeah, I had olive clears that I traded for a whole marker, and
that's nuts.
the guy thought he was getting a deal. I was like, I paid $50 back in 1999.
I remember moving and I threw away Sandana gear, Epiphanies, like all kinds of random stuff. Like, and some of the stuff is worth money now. Like, I'm like, what? Huh? Like Sandana was not cool. Like the pants and the jerseys, and now they're super awesome. And now I can't even help it. Like, yeah, those are cool. Like, but I wear the Hormesis magic pajamas when I want to go old school. It just has to be cold because it is warm.
That's a tough fabric to wear in Florida, per se.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're right at an hour. Anything else you wanna shout out real quick, or
play paintball? Support your local paintball field. Don't go online to save $5. Go. Support your friends if they have a local business. Frenemy Alex Hicks. He has to earn to duel me again, but i75paintball.com if you need used gear. Insane Paintball, visit their huge pro shop if you want new gear. I think they have used gear too. Just play more. If you want to duel, hit me up. If you don't want to duel, but you're curious about the format, hit me up. I'll tell you about
a little dual curious, if you will.
You'll get better playing that format. And just keep it fun. Have fun. That's all it is. It's just a fun game. We're just playing, we're playing tag. We're playing war. That's all we're doing. Just have fun.
Thanks for tuning in to the Planet Paintball podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Whether you're out there grinding in the divisional pits or chasing dreams on the pro stage, remember, it's all about the passion, the hustle, and the love for the sport. Shout out to 1023 Sportswear for sponsoring the show. Don't forget to use code Planet Paintball at checkout for 20% off your order. Gear up, save big. Until next time, keep grinding, keep growing, and we'll see you back here on the Planet Paintball podcast